Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to Wild Werewolf. Are you ready to embark on a wild and thrilling journey into the world of werewolves? Here, we'll explore the untamed nature, the raw power, and the captivating stories of these mythical creatures. So, get comfortable and let's unleash the wildness together. Chapter 1 few days ago. Jade, P. O.V. Okay, I'm about to go to work. And Jade, please keep an eye on Kate, said Stan. I'm 16. Why does she need to keep an eye on me, asked Kate. Because you like sneaking out, and lately there has been some attacks around this area by animals, and what I need you to do is stay in this house, young lady, you hear me, said Stan. Before Kate could even say anything. I'll keep an eye on her. She'll be okay, I assured my dad. Thank you, Jade. He smiled and started walking out the house before did he turn around again and look at Kate and I left some money on the kitchen table if you two want to order some food. Only order by delivery. And turned back around to walk out the door and locked it. I was a little bit hungry, to be honest. What do you want to eat? I asked Kate. She didn't answer, so I turned to look at her sitting on the couch with her arms crossed. What do you want to eat? I asked her again. You know you don't tell me what to do, she said with an attitude. I looked at her for a second and said, Kate, I know this is unfair, but you have to listen to Dad. You will be so hurt if anything bad ever happens to you. You know he loves you more than life itself. No, he loves you. He hates me, she said, standing up. And you, she added. I hate you. He always looks at you like you're the most amazing daughter in the world, and you're not. You're nothing, she said. She walks up to me. I'm going to bed and I'm not hungry, and walks past me to go up the stairs. Kate, you have to eat, I yelled up to her, and she just responded with a slamming her door. I loved my little sister to death. But she really needs to stop with the little kid shit. I'll be a nice person and order her favorite Chinese food. She loves chicken fried rice with orange chicken. I called and ordered our food. The food came and I placed my food on the kitchen table and carried her food up to her room. I knocked on her door. Kate, there was no answer. I knocked again. Kate. I order you some food anyway. I got your favorite fried rice with orange chicken. There was still no answer, so I decided to open the door myself and walk slowly inside. I felt no presence in here. I saw her window open and quickly placed her food on her bed and looked out the window. Kate, I yelled out the window. My body started shaking with fear because I had no idea where my sister was, and she could be out there lost in the woods. I ran downstairs to call my dad on my cell phone. He answered and I told him everything, and we hung up and I sat on the couch and buried my face into my hands. I just cried. Kate, K. Oh. I was finally free. I ran through the woods. I was finally out the house. Jade would never even notice me gone, and I could always get back in time. I ran some more until I came through the opening of the forest. I always loved the fact that we have forest as our backyard. Well, our town is mostly forest, but it's always fine by me. My dad did tell me that there were some attacks lately. But just because animals were attacks others doesn't mean they're going to attack me. I looked around the opening into the sky. All the stars were beautiful, every single one of them. For some reason I could feel something was watching me. So I looked around and saw nothing, and I thought past it. Then I started to hear something moving in the brush, and I looked to where the sounds were coming from. And I couldn't see a thing. A low growl came from the trees in front of me, and I started walking towards the growling as if it were calling me, and suddenly a giant light-colored wolf jumps out and snarls at me, and I take a step back. The wolf leaps at me, and all I could do was scream. Chapter 2, Present Day. Jade's P. O.V. It's been a few days since Kate has disappeared, but my dad told me to go on with my life. I'm a senior in high school, and I do have to focus on graduating. I'm also one in my class, and I don't want to lose my position. I'll be damned if I do. I was doing my usual walk down the hallways before first period, and best friend Victoria walks up to me. Hey, sexiness, she said. What's up, best? I replied. She looks at me for a second and then hugs me tightly. I'm so sorry about your sister, she cries out, and adds, I'm hoping and praying that nothing bad has happened to her. I hug her back and we let go of each other. School goes on until I go to band class. Yes, I'm in band. I set up everything I need and gotten out my tenor saxophone. When my director, Mr. O'Neill introduces a new student, Sasha P. O.V. I finally made it to what should be my favorite class of the day. Band Mr. O'Neill is such a nice teacher and comes to find out that he's from my home country too. Everyone, I will love for you all to meet our new bass clarinet player, Ms. Sasha Cone. She has moved all the way from Africa to be with us, Mr. O'Neill has announced. I did a small wave to everyone in the band. It was a lot of students in here and I could sense that someone very powerful is in here. Max Spidey, my fated mate. Lights flashed around me and my wounds spun with the beat of the heavy techno music the DJ was playing. My wolf from inside of me said. I was a little confused. Why was my wolf saying queen? Jade, do you mind showing Sasha around the band hall, Mr. O'Neill asked a girl in the second row from us. She stood up quick with her saxophone and quickly put it down. Malia, my wolf said louder. This girl has walked up to me and I jumped a little when I just now noticed her beside me. I'm sorry that I scared you, she said softly. Oh no. No, you're okay. You didn't scare me, I laughed nervously. She looked at me for a second and smiled. Well, time to show you around then, she said to me, walking away from the front of the band hall. I quickly followed after her. It really felt weird the whole time she was showing me around. I had a feeling that I need to worship her. But why? She is human. Her smell, her weakness, everything about her was human. But my wolf was going crazy over this girl calling her queen. And this last room here is the computer room, Jade said, smiling. I know it's a huge band hall, isn't it, she continued. Yes, it really is, looking at her. But quickly added, thank you for showing me around. My name is Sasha Cone and you are. Jade Fireflower, she said, smile, shaking my hand. She took out her phone and looked at the screen and looked up at me. It's time for lunch. Okay. Where's the cafe? I'll take you there, Jade said quickly, and walked past me. I quickly followed after her and we made it to lunch. The smell of food was making me feel happy and hungry. I turned to look at Jade, but she was gone. I looked around and I found my boyfriend in front of me. Yes, I have a boyfriend. Thinking back on yesterday. After getting off the plane, I walk into the airport building and look around for Oliver, my boyfriend. We've been together for 2 years and I finally decided to move to America to be safe and to be closer to him. I found him, and we hugged for a good 2 minutes when we finally let each other go. Babe, you're finally here with me, he said. Yes, I told him, happily kissing him. He grabbed my bags and he got into this really nice Jeep. I just stood there outside the Jeep just looking at it. This is yours, I asked. Yes. Now get in, he said while reaching over to open the door on my side. I got in quickly and closed the door when he finally drives off. We make it this huge vintage-style mansion and he quickly gets out and opens the door for me. I look at the house. Is this your place? I asked. No, it's yours, he replied. I stood there in shock when he said that. I bought this. Wait, I didn't buy anything. He bought this mansion for me. He grabbed my wrist and we walk up to the door. He digs in his pocket and pulls out a key and hands it to me. Open the door, he commands me. And I did. Back to present, babe. I snap out of the memory and turn to look at him. Yes, I smile at him. Are you okay? How is your first day going? Is there anyone trying to hurt you, he asked me. And I just sigh. Jade P. O.V. I feel bad about leaving the new girl. But she was creeping me out a little. But she is nice. I think it's just me being rude and I'm hating that. I'll just go talk to her before lunch ends. Victoria walks up to me with a group of girls and one of them, her name was Amanda. I really did not like her, but she's Victoria's friend, so I'll be nice to her. I smiled at Victoria and the group of girls. Hey bestie. How was your day? Victoria asks me. It's really good. I met the new girl, I tell her. The new girl, Amanda says in disgust. What's wrong with her? I ask. She stole my man. Oliver left me to be with her, she says in anger. I just look at her and Victoria says, you haven't been together in like 2 years. But he finally goes with someone and he goes with this ugly girl, she says back to Victoria. Well, she's my new friend, I tell her. Amanda pauses and looks at me in hurt. Amanda, Don't play with me because we're not friends, I tell her and walk away. I've gotten my lunch and sat at my usual table all alone. I was walking around after I was done eating and I found Sasha and she was with Oliver and a bunch of other guys. I smiled and walked up to them. Hi Sasha, she looks at me and smiles. Hi Jade. Where did you go? I went to go eat lunch, I told her. Oliver looked at me and I looked back and said hi Oliver. Jade, he said blankly. He then put his arm around Sasha's waist and pulled her away from me. For some reason he has a strong dislike for me. I honestly don't know what I did to him. I then say bye to both of them and just left. Chapter 3 Sasha P. OV. It was a really good first day of school. And I'm in love with my new home. It felt like home thanks to my boyfriend. He's supposed to be coming over later with his twin brother and friend. I'm glad that we're all wolves. I felt hungry. Considering that I didn't eat lunch today, I've decided that I could fix some dinner for the 4 of us. I'm glad that Oliver is smart enough to get groceries, but thinking about it, I don't even know what Americans eat. So I will make my favorite African stew with rice. I was done putting the stew all together in a large pot and I would be waiting a while for it to finish cooking. So I decided to go ahead and freshen up before my company comes over. My wolf suddenly cries inside of me, Malia. I stopped for a second, then continued with my business. I took a shower and dressed up in some blue and gray joggers with a blue V-neck shirt to go with it, and I put on some gray and white colored Converse and I went back down to the kitchen to check on my stew. It was cooking perfectly. I soon heard the doorbell ring and I quickly went to go open the door. Oliver, Vincent twin brother and his best friend Prince were at the door. I let them in and we sat in my vintage-style living room and waited on the food. Thinking of what's wrong with my wolf, I needed to tell Oliver. Oliver trying to get his attention. He said, there was something weird that happened today with my wolf at school, I told him. What is it? You didn't turn, did you? He freaks out a little. No. It's something with that girl named Jade. My wolf keeps on crying out to her, Malia. Malia, Prince asks. What does that mean? Oliver asks. It means queen in my language, I tell them. Vincent chuckles. Your wolf is probably going crazy. My wolf is not crazy. She knows her queen. When sees her, I snap at him. I stand up and looked at all 3 of them and walk away into the kitchen. My stew was completely done and it smelled so good. I turn off the stove and go up to a cabinet to grab for bowls. Then I called the guys to come eat. We all sat at the table, in silence, and just ate. JB, OV. It was a long day at school and I had to get ready for work. I work at my dad's police station as an office worker. I get paid pretty well and I just come in when I want to work since I have to work 12 hours a week. I made it to work. I saw my dad heading out for duty. Hey kiddo, he kisses me on my forehead. There was a report of another animal attack on the main road. Something about wolves. And after that we will continue the search for your sister, he adds. I knew how heartbroken my dad was even though he wasn't showing it. He looked tired. Ever since my sister has disappeared, all he did was work and went looking for her. I nodded and continued to my desk and clocked in. I was a little hungry and I was glad that I had snacks in my desk. Perfect. It's Lay's. I worked from 5 to 1100. That's 6. Half of what I do this week. I went home and was surprised to see my dad's car out in the driveway. I walk into the house and I found him in his office. He was with some man. This man looked creepy. He had all black on and he was pale and bold. My dad noticed me and yelled hello. I started up the stairs when the man walked out my dad's office and looked at me. We were both at eye contact and there was a tingling in the back of my head. He soon looked away and I continued to walk up the stairs. The next morning I woke up soaked in sweat, and stand up and my head felt as if someone were hitting it with a hammer. And ignored it and stood up from my bed. Out of nowhere I found myself on the floor. The last thing I saw was my dad running into my room. Oliver P. L.E.V. I woke in the darkness of my room, wishing my babe was here. She doesn't like sleeping in the same bed for some reason. She was a little upset yesterday about the queen thing. Maybe her wolf is sensing something in Jade. Jade is a total weirdo and bitch. I didn't feel like getting up, but it's another school day. But thinking of yesterday back at Sasha's house, we ate in complete silence. She just didn't want to talk to us. We were done with our food and we were about to leave, and I tried giving her a hug, but she pushed me away. She told all of us to get out. I got a nut and took a shower. I put on my clothes and then I called her. She didn't answer. Damn it. What is wrong with her? I want to know what's wrong with my mate. My wolf started to pace inside of me. Gladly I will see her at school. Sasha P. Oh, the ugh. School again. I can't even get up right now. I'm glad that I have late arrival. I thought of yesterday and I felt bad that I've rejected Oliver yesterday. My wolf wasn't in control at that time. She's always angry, but when it comes to her mate, my boyfriend, I just let her be. Oh, maybe I'll go for a run. Let my wolf run free knowing that she's restless. I gotten up from bed and walked downstairs to the back door. I look out to the forest behind my house and I started to take my clothes off. I walked out and changed into my wolf form and she started to run into the forest. Chapter 4. Jade's dream. I was walking in the forest. I had a jet black bodysuit that was shaped like a one-piece swimsuit and it was strapless, showing off most of my D-cup breast. My long black hair was flowing down and I had a black flower-like crown around my head. And my eye color were pure silver. I continued walking and all I could see was the moon and stars above me, until I saw this tree trunk shaped like a throne chair. As I sit in it, a bunch of giant different-colored WBLs walks towards me and bow their heads as if they were worshipping me. I look around at them and one of them walked up closer to me. It was an all-black wolf with tan-colored eyes. It bowed its head once again and laid next to my feet. Jade P. Oh, I wake up in an all-white room. I look around and see my dad sitting in a chair next to me fast asleep. I gasped when I tried to speak, but not even a word came out of my mouth. I laid there, just looked at the ceiling until I heard the door open. I saw that it was that veiled man that I saw the other night talking to my dad. I shut my eyes quickly. I soon heard my dad's voice. Is she okay? Sin asks. She'll be fine, Luke says. Luke, I don't think she's ready, my dad says. She's more than ready. She's the one that will save us all, Luke says to my dad. She hasn't showed any signs of turning until now. She's sick and she's suffering, Stan said. That's because of her turning so late, Luke tells my dad. I open my eyes and look at my dad. With confusion, I groan to catch their attention. They both look at me. Jade, how are you feeling? Luke asks me. In my mind, I wanted to say that I felt like shit, that I wanted to go home. I feel okay, I replied. My dad comes up to me and kisses my forehead and looks me in the eyes. Jade, I have something that I need to tell you. What is it? I ask. You're not human. You're a werewolf. You're royalty. My dad tells me. I asked, bewildered. You're a werewolf, he repeats. Dad, are you playing with me? Werewolves are not real. They're just stories on TV, I tell him. My dad just nodded his head, then turned his attention to Luke. Luke just stood there looking the same way as I saw him the other night. He then turns his attention to me and looks me dead in the eye. I felt the same tingle in the back of my head. What are you doing? I asked Luke. I'm having a conversation with your wolf. She's such a feisty one. She's such a beauty, all black, he answers. I started to freak out to what the hell this weirdo is saying. Who the hell is he anyway? What did he do to my dad? What are they talking about? Jade, my dad calls to me. I turn to give him my attention. I need to show you something, he continues. You will only believe it when you see it, he adds. He holds out his hand for me to take and helps me get out of bed. I just now noticed that I had a hospital gown on, that my dad lets go of my hand and he says, come outside. I follow him outside to a wide opening of the forest. We were in the middle of nowhere. My dad takes off his shirt, and I look at him in bewilderment. He get on his hands and knees. I watched as he started to become full of fur. He was done transforming, and I couldn't even believe what I'm seeing right now. My dad just turned into a giant wolf. I just gasped. Chapter 5, the next day. Jade P. OV. I couldn't get over the fact that werewolves exist. These giant mutts are real. And I'm somehow one of them, and so is my dad. I still have questions for my dad, but I'm still too freaked out to even talk to him. Yesterday, after he showed me his wolf, I just couldn't look at him the same way. Why did he have to wait till now to tell me? Why couldn't he have told me at a younger age so that I'm used to it? While thinking, I'm just now realizing that I'm sitting in my car, and I really need to head to school and I need to be on time. I started my car and I headed to school. I hated the idea of being late for any class, so I rushed through driving. I rushed to get to first period. School went by so fast and I rushed to my locker. I happened to bump into Sasha. I shrugged at the force knocking both of us backwards, and gladly we didn't fall. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I was in a rush and didn't even see what I was eating and walking into. I tell her. You're fine, she says. Or sure she cuts me off. I'm fine, she assures me. I relaxed a little bit. You want to hang out at my house today, she asks me. I look up at her in surprise. Oh, sure, I'd love to, I answer. She hands me her number on a little piece of paper that I didn't even know that she even written while I was talking to her. Text me so that I have send you my address, she says, walking away quickly. Sasha, oh my goodness. Jade is a wolf. A werewolf. I walk a little faster until I was completely out of the building. I jump in my Kia Soul and sped off to the main road towards my house. I look at my phone, hating myself to even think about grabbing it, and I found myself grabbing it anyway. I call Oliver, and after the first ring he picks up. Oliver, come to my place as VP. Something is wrong, and bring your brother and friend to quickly hang up. I made it to my house within a few minutes afterwards and quickly run in. I sit in my living room to try to calm myself down. Who turned her? She was just human a couple of days ago. Jade texts me and I text her back my address. Oliver, Prince, and Vincent made it over and we sat in the living room. That girl, Jade, is a wolf. I tell them. What Vincent asks with sarcasm. I'm serious. I smelled it all over her, I tell him with a little anger. If you say she is, then I believe you, Oliver tells me. He grabs my hand and squeezes it a little. She's coming over, I tell him. Why, he asks me. I freaked out, I tell him. The next thing we know, the doorbell rings. Everyone looked towards the direction of the door, and I quickly get up to open it. Jade Sasha opens the door for me and invites me in. I see Oliver, his brother, and this other guy I've seen before at school. I greet them all. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to see them. Will you like to sit? The unknown guy asks. I turn my attention to him. Sure, thanks. He gets up from his seat and I take it. At least he's the only gentleman in here, Sasha tells the other to sitting down beside Oliver on her love seat. I just noticed that I'm sitting by Oliver's brother and he was looking at me with lustful eyes, which made me feel uncomfortable. Hey, he said to me. Hi, I greet back. And Vincent, he turns his face towards the other guy. That's Prince. Nice to meet you, I say in the nicest tone possible. Vincent, stop making her feel uncomfortable, Oliver tells him. Sasha stands up to get everyone's attention. Jade, I have something to ask you. Yes, I respond. Are you a werewolf, she asks. What, I ask in shock. How could she know? You're a werewolf, she snaps at me. I was just quiet after she said that, and she continues. I smell it all over you, I continue to be quiet. And a werewolf too. And so are these three. She adds. I was caught off guard. Yes, she answered. What the hell? I can't believe this. Me and my dad are not the only ones. I looked at all of them, and just paused. Prince V. Oh. VJ just sat there in disbelief. She just found out she was a werewolf. You could see it all over her face. I look at Vincent, who is still looking at her. He's such a fuck boy. Love to smash and leave. I can already sense that Jade is an innocent young lady and so pure. My wolf lusted for her. I let out a small growl. Sasha looks at me, and I stop quickly. Sasha raised her eyebrows and looked at Oliver, who was smiling at me. Oh shit. I just found my mate. Vincent P. OV goddamn Jade is something to look at. I could easily convince her to fuck and just leave her. But it looks like I'm not the only one. Prince just found his mate. I'll just step back from this one. JP. OV, why is this happening? I can't even believe what I'm hearing. Werewolves exist. Deep down inside of my stomach I felt something. I grabbed my stomach and winced in pain. Sasha quickly walked over to help me and I pushed her off. Get away from me, I snapped. Okay, Sasha quickly accepted. I stand up and walked up to what looks like her back door leading to the woods. I open it and step out. The smell of pint riggers something within me and I just felt pain shooting through my body. Molly, Sasha shouted from behind me. I look at her and she steps back a little and then I see the guys walking out the house staring at me. I jerked my head back and screamed to the top of my lungs. That scream soon turns into a roar. Suddenly the pain stops and I found myself on all fours. I looked down the sea giant black paws. My wolf stumbled a little bit from the surprise to see her own paws. I look around to see everyone staring at me. Well, you weren't lying, Vincent said to Sasha. All of them soon got on all fours and turned into their wolves. Sasha's wolf was a beautiful cinnamon color. Oliver's was a cream color. Vincent's is a gray wolf. And Prince is a nice chocolate brown colored wolf. I heard a voice that said Malia. I turned to Sasha. She was looking me right in the eye. Whatever you do not turn into your human form. I was confused for a second. You didn't know we can talk to you. I heard Sasha's voice. No, and why can't I change back yet? You'll be naked, I heard Vincent's voice. Sasha's wolf walked into her house and she quickly came back fully dressed, throwing shorts at the guys and a huge shirt at me. Vincent just changed back into his human form. He was fully naked and didn't even care. So did Prince, but he quickly put on some short. Vincent saw me, looked at him, and he just smirked and Prince started growling at him. Okay, bro. Just chill, he said, putting on his shorts. I didn't even notice Oliver changing back. But he had his shorts on. I hid behind some trees close by and found a way to change back to human. Then I stepped back from behind the trees and looked at them. I have questions, I said to them. Chapter 6, Jade P. OV, how long have werewolves existed, I asked. Thousands of years, Sasha answers. How did I become a werewolf, I ask another question. Were you bit, Oliver asks. No, I tell him. Then you were born this way, Prince says. What does the word Malia mean, I ask them. Queen in my FRACN tribal language, Sasha reply, yes. I'm royal. How is that even possible? Me being queen of what? I don't feel royal. If that's even a feeling. You are my queen, Sasha says to me while I look up at her, going back to reality. I can't be, I tell her. Why not, Prince asks. I just can't, I snap at him. He looks at me for a second, then walks past me and stand next to Elvira and Vincent. He smelled so good. It was kind of like a turn on. Jade, Sasha calls. I look at her and see she has her eyebrows raised. Are you okay, Yes, I lied. Well, you have a lot to learn about yourself and your wolf. Your wolf is very beautiful and strong. Take care of her. She doesn't need to be weak, Sasha tells me. I nodded. The weekend. Prince P. LV. I just laid in bed. I can't stop thinking about Jade. Her curves. That ass. Her nice breast. Everything about her is so perfect to me. She needs to know I'm her mate. She smell is intoxicating. The smell of sweetness. I need to talk to my wolf. Hey, Azawili. You think she's the one? Hell yeah. Have you seen her, bro? I know she looks amazing. Man, we have to get her. She needs to love us. She's ours. Our mate. Our other half. Our other half. Vincent P. LV. The sound of this girl moaning is driving me crazy. God, I love morning sex. I have to admit that I love she-wolves a lot more. But this little slut can sure ride. I know her from school. She's the school slut. She stops and I look up at her. Who told you to stop? She asks her, a little upset. Can I take a break? She asks. "You're not telling me you're tired, are you?" I asked her. "Kind of," she answers. "Give me head. I want you to choke on this stick," I command her. She looks at me a little upset, but does what I say anyway. She starts from the base and licks up to the tip and manages and put my full 10 inches into her mouth. She slowly sucks and I kind of gotten bored, so I trust into her mouth and make her choke and gag. She looks up at me. "You may continue," I say to her with a smile. Out of nowhere I hear the door to my room open. I know it's Oliver. Kelly sits up and hides under the cover. "Be a ruck, Aunt Enoch," I fuss. "Where were you last night and why do you wake me up at fucking 4 in the morning?" he yells. "Do chill," I chuckle. "And who is that girl in your bed?" I asks. I'm Kelly," she says. "Don't I know you from somewhere?" he asks her. "School." She adjusts her hair and smiles. "Get out of my house," he snaps at her. She immediately gotten out the bed and runs out the room. "Oh, come on, bro. What do you have against me getting morning pussy?" I pouted. "You need a mate," he snaps. "No, I don't. You need to get laid," I said in a calm voice. "You know Sasha's making me wait," he walks out. "Maybe you should cheat," I shouted. "Hell no," he shouted back. "I sometimes don't get how we're twins." "Yeah, I know we're fraternal, but damn. He used to have sex all the time with his last girlfriend, Amanda. Heck, he lost his virginity before I did. I can never understand my brother now. What is he waiting for? All he have to do is tell her what he wants. Because he's the male wolf. Oliver P. O.V. I can't stand my brother sometimes. But he is improving. Think back in the past before they moved to America. Vincent, what did you do?" "I just killed another woman," he shouts. He walks up to me and punches me in the jaw. I fall to the floor and hold my jaw. "You need to stop. Father is taking over you." "Why do you think Mother isn't here?" "I love to kill," he tells me. "Brother, please, we can leave. He gonna kill us soon," I stand up to tell him. Our father walks in. All of them speaking French. "Hello, boys," breathing heavily. "Hello, Father," Vincent says while he stands up straighter and smiles. "Oh," I say, looking down. "I need both of you to do something for me," Father says with an evil smile. We both look at him. "I need you to kill your sister," he continues. I gasp at what he asks, and he snaps his head to look at me. "If you have a problem, we can handle this," he assures me. "Bring her in," Father yells. Two men walk in with our sister in their arms. She was scared and she was struggling. They throw her in front of my father. "Hello, sweetie." "Daddy, what are they doing?" "What did I do?" she says. "The reason why those men are here is to make sure you don't run away." "What you did? You being born a woman. Women are weak, pathetic creatures. The only things they're good at doing is being raped," he says to her, then looks at Vincent and I. Vincent had tears running down his cheeks. "Why are you crying?" "You want to be with her," he tells at him. Vincent quickly nods. "My ex-boy, my fated mate." White splashed around me and my wounds spun with the beat of the heavy techno music the DJ was playing. "You are strong for 10-year-olds. You can make your father proud today. Kill her." I step back when he grabs me by my wrist. He pulls me up to my sister and holds me in place. "Hold her down," my dad commands the men. He then tightens up his grip, making my claws come out, and he makes me claw my sister until her skin goes cold. Snap back to reality. Shit. What's wrong with me? That's the past. I need to check on Sasha. Sasha P. Oh, be thinking of yesterday. I think I went at Jade hard. There was a surprise after a surprise for her. I was just laying in my bed when I heard the doorbell ring. I quickly get up to see who it is. It was Oliver, and I might let him in. He then gave a passionate kiss and pulled back to look at me. "I love you so much," he tells me. I could feel my wolf lusting for him, but I wanted to wait until marriage. I know how I say to him emotionals is. He gave me a blank look into my living room. I looked at him for a second, then started to follow him. He was sitting at the very middle edge of my love seat looking down. My wolf grew worried about her mate. All I could get out before he starts to talk. "Why can't we have sex?" he asked bluntly. I thought about what he said for a second. I like to wait until marriage, I tell him. "Max Brady, my fated mate." Lights flashed around me and my room spun with the beat of the heavy techno music the DJ was playing. You're not a virgin. Neither am I. So why do we have to be this weird werewolf couple? He gave me a disgusted look and adds, "You're wolf." She lusts for me. I can feel it. And my wolf is lust for you. More and more each day. Also, I'm the male wolf. I'm stronger than you, and usually when a male wolf wants to fuck, he'll fuck. No matter if it is with you or someone else, he will do it. I just looked at him. I cannot believe what he just said. What the hell is wrong with you? I ask him. Sex, he snaps. What about it? I says to him. I want it. Right here. Right now. I grabs me by my wrist. What the hell? Oliver, let me go. I try pulling away from him. I'm not letting you go until I get what I want. He's still holding my wrist with one hand and grabs my butt with the other. He bites his lip. God damn. All that ass and I'm not getting any. Might as well take it since I'm here. He moves his face closer to mine as I struggle in his arms. His eyes turn dark, showing his wolf is in control. Oliver, please stop, I cried. He kisses my neck and moves to my chest. Stop, I yell. He stops dead then and looks me in the eyes. Stop it, please, I say to him in the lighter tone. He lets me go and steps back. He just looks at me. What's wrong with you, Oliver? We agreed to not have sex until we're married, I remind him. I want to have sex too, but I'm willing to wait because I know it's going to be worth it, I add. He nods his head no. Please. Raph is begging, he says, looking at me with teary eyes. No, I say. Yes, my wolf Mia says within me. Ignoring her, I continue. I know what's best for us, I added. You know I almost raped you. He turns away and looks back at me with his wolf's eye color, which are honey brown. But I didn't because I love you. And I don't want my mate to hate me. I look away from him and then start to walk away. Where are you going? He asks. To my room. I continued to walk. To this point, I let my wolf take control. I walk up the stairs to my room and simply slipped off my clothes before he walks in. I turn to face him. You ready? He growls at me and walks up closer to me to hold me in his arms. His hands on my bare brown skin was warm and soft. He kisses me on my forehead. I'm only ready when you are. I smile at him, feeling my wolf's desire coming through. Chapter 7, that night. Sasha P. LV. I'm cuddled up on Oliver in my king-size bed. I can't believe we had sex. Several rounds in a day for that matter. It really feels like we've let go of something bad between us. We already do struggle every day with people and other werewolves, due to us being an interracial couple. I'm African and he's white. Well, French. I think of my parents when it comes to this. They wanted my brother and I'd have an African or black mate. To be honest, I never care for skin color. It's just that Oliver loves me for who I am. What's wrong, babe? Oliver asks out of nowhere. Do you remember a year ago when you asked me to marry you? I look up at him. Yay, I'm still waiting for my answer. He smiles while looking down at me. I started to trace my finger on his chest. I already have an answer. It's just that I want to wait until we're graduated from school. So your answer is yes, he says. Of course. But I want my parents to accept this marriage too. And I want your father to come, I said. Why, he says while sitting up and making my head fall in the pillow next to him. I done sitting up too. He's your family. The only family you have left other than your brother. I look him in the eye. You know the reason I don't want you to be around him, he reminds me. Yes, I do. But I have you with me. If he comes at me, I will fight, I assure him. Sasha, he can't come, he commands me. I want him to. He's your father. You're his son. That's considered bad luck in the werewolf tradition to not let your parents see you get married. I take his hand. Please, it'll make me happy if you invite him. I know he killed your mother and made you kill your sister. But I assure you that he will feel stupid for not being in your life all these years I had. I'll think about it. He looks away from me. When is the wedding going to be? He asks. How about a month after graduation? I ask him. All right, he agrees. We're officially engaged. He smiles at me. He looks down at my chest. When I realize that we're still naked, he grabs my thick, kinky hair and pulls me closer to him. He kisses me lightly on the lips. How many rounds did we do? He asks with a big smile. I don't know. I'll let I smile back. Okay, well, let's call this round, he thinks for a second. Round deep, he says. Why, I chuckled. Because he pauses to get closer to my ear. I'm gonna go deep inside you. Well, then I raise an eyebrow. Let's see about that. I pull the covers over our heads slowly. He looks at the covers and pulls on them quicker. Jade P. It's been a long day of sleeping. I never slept a whole day before. The time I woke up was 6:25 in the evening. And I went ahead and cooked some dinner for my dad and myself. It's my dad's favorite. Chicken Alfredo. I made his plate already steaming hot and ready to eat. And while I was making my plate, I hear my dad coming through the front door. Whoa, is that chicken Alfredo I smell? He asked from the other room. Yes, it's ready, come on and eat, I reply. My dad walks into the kitchen and comes to kiss me on my forehead. He walks to the table and starts to eat. I finished up my plate and sit across from him. I look at him eating. Is there something wrong? Stan asks. Yes, I says quickly. What is it, sweetie? He asks. How am I royal IDY? How am I a wolf? Who is Luke? And where is Kate? I asked the last question with a lump in my throat. Well, your mother. She was a queen and you are the next one to the throne. He told me. About her. You told me after she died that she was in a car accident. What really happened? I asked him. She was killed by a man named Raid. And now since you have survived your 18 years, you need to keep watch of him, he answers. To answer my other questions, I tell him. How you're a wolf is because you have werewolf blood. Luke is an old friend of your mother and I. He helped us so much in so many years and he's your doctor. He stops for a second. Your sister. I believe she was taken by Raid. Might have already killed her by now. But I really hope and pray that he didn't. Your sister is not a wolf. She's fully human and she isn't born from the same mother, he finishes. Who is Raid? I ask my dad. Raid is an old friend of your mother that soon turned against her. They were originally supposed to be together as mates. But your mother found out that it wasn't meant to be. Your mother and I were married for 2 years and after you were born. Raid was angry. He wanted to kill you and your mother didn't want that to happen. So she fought until he fled off. I wanted to help but she told me to go ahead and protect you and to take you to a faraway place. After she died I was left with you. I have met Sherry, your other mom. And of course we had Kate and she died because of Raid clawing her to death and I almost lost my life fighting to keep you and Kate safe. We moved here and gladly nothing happened. Until now. And now you sister is gone. Tears started to roll down his jaws. I looked down. Jade, that's why you're our only hope. You have your mother's blood to get rid of him once and for all. You are a queen and you are the most strongest wolf of all time, he adds. Dad, how can I start? I asked him. Start what? He was a little confused. How can I start to be a protector? How can I handle Raid? Where do I start? I ask him. By taking your throne, my dad tells me. Chapter 8, Jade P. LV. I haven't talked to Sasha in a few days. I'm kind of being weird staring at her phone number in my phone. I will like some fellow werewolf people to come with me to claim my throne all the way in Greece. I will call her anyway. I dialed her number and waited for her to answer. She answers. Hey Sasha. It's me, Jade, I greet her, while putting her on speakerphone. Hey Jade. How are you? She replies. I'm great. I just wanted to ask you something. I tell her. Yeah, she asked. I was wondering if you could come to Greece with me to claim my throne as queen. I say quickly. I'll be more than happy to. But when she asks. This weekend, I replied. Oh, I'm okay, she says. Okay. See you at school tomorrow, I tell her and hung up. The next day. Jade P. OV. It's Tuesday. It feels like it's been a whole week. Time is moving so slow. I'm in my last class of the day. Volleyball. My coach wanted us to take a run on the track. We made it outside to see the boys' soccer team on the track and my coach went up to the other coach. And I was overhearing their conversation. Keith, I thought you knew that my girls are using this track, volleyball coach says. Oh, come on. My boys have to train, soccer coach said. I have been asking to use this track for a while now. All because of football taking up the place, and now since I finally have it, You take the opportunity to use it. Really? Your season haven't even started yet, my coach told the soccer coach. I don't want my boys to get lazy for the upcoming season, so I need to use this track as much as possible. How about we share? Soccer coach tries to convince my coach. Fine. Just as long as your boys don't bother my girls, my coach says. Deal, the soccer coach says. My coach walks up to us. All right, girls, time to finally take a nice run. Jog or walk. Just as long as you are not playing around like a bunch of kids, we're good. Now go use the track. I start to jog, ignoring all the boys' comments about my extremely short shorts. I already know my butt is huge. I suddenly felt that someone was running up behind me. I looked back to see no one. When I turned back around, I was surprised to see Prince running backwards in front of me. Hey, he smiles at me. Hi, I say shyly. No need to be shy. Jade, he says brightly. I'm not usually around guys much. I am pretty shy, I say to him and try to run past him. He doesn't let me. He switches over his hips to start runs forward. He continues. We're werewolves, so you no longer have to be shy, he says with a smirk. I don't answer him. So I heard you were going to Greece, he says quickly. I stopped when he said that and I just look at him. Sasha told me, he continues. I start back with jogging and him and I jog together at a steady pace. Yes, I am going to Greece. I need to claim my throne, I tell him. Can I come, he asks. Why, I ask. You can get killed. Werewolves elfists don't like power over them, Prince told me. I'm not scared of them knowing that I am. I don't want you to get hurt, he said. I didn't answer, not realizing what he just said. I continued to look forward until I did. But when I was going to say something back, he was gone. Friday. It's finally Friday and it took forever. School's over and I have to go home and finish up packing. I just need to put my shoes in the suitcase. Throughout this week, Oliver has convinced me to let him come with me. So did his brother when he found out Oliver is going. Then Prince is coming too because he begged me. So I'm literally taking like 6 people if you include my dad and Luke. I told them all to meet up at my place to go to the airport. We have to take a 45-minute drive in order to get there. And our plane leaves at 5:30 in the morning. I was in the passenger seat of my dad's SUV. It's been pretty much 30 minutes since we left the house. Since my dad's has an SUV, a couple of more people were with us. Sasha and Luke. And may I say, the Sasha and the Luke are having a great conversation. Knowing that Luke is a doctor and finding out that Sasha wants to be a doctor. The conversation hasn't even stopped yet. As for the rest of the people coming with me, they are in Oliver's Jeep behind us. 15 minutes later, we made it to the airport. I quickly gotten out the SUV and looked at my phone for the time. It's 5 on the dot, so we made it in perfect timing. I go to the trunk, which already unlocked when I opened it. I grab all of my bags and everyone else in the SUV does the same. The boys grabbed their stuff as well. There were 2 young men at a little car hop stand that walks up to us. One of them asks, will you like for us to park your vehicles? Yes, thank you. My dad take his car key off his key ring, then hand the key to them. Thank you. Oliver does the same. We walk into the airport and put your suitcases and bags into the machine for them to check them. We went on to the metal detectors. We have gotten on the plane. My dad knew the person in charge of this airport. So we all gotten a huge discount on the tickets in our seats and we all have a chance to seat in first class. It was a small jet, so gladly not that many people will be on here. And we're gladly the only ones in first class. It'll be a 14-hour ride from Virginia to Athens. Greece. We made it to Greece. That plane ride is torture. Athens is such a beautiful place. There were so many things to see, considering all the statues, fountains, old architectures. My dad told me, while I'm here, I should learn about my grandmother and mother before she had me. My mother did become a queen at a fairly young age, and comes to think of it, so will I. We checked into a very fancy-looking hotel. My dad gave everyone a key. Dad, who am I sharing a room with? I asked. You have your own room, he quickly said, walking away with Luke. Did he just say that I have my own room? I asked Sasha and the guys. Yes, we all do, Sasha answered me. We all gave our bags to the valet's, offering to take our bags up to our rooms. We all stuffed into the elevator and headed up to the top floor. We all walked together. Sasha's room is next to mine. Oliver's room is right across from hers. Prince's room is across from mine, and Vincent's room is next to mine on the other side. I'm going to freshen up, Sasha tells all of us and walks in her room. I walk into my room as well. This room was beautiful. There's a huge window with all white curtains. King-size bed. Whole living room set. Mini kitchen with a microwave and friggin' sink. Big bathroom with a garden tub and separate shower. The color theme of the whole room is white and gold. How did my dad afford this? I wish my phone worked here. I really need to speak to my dad. Sasha P. OV. Never in my life have I ever been to a hotel. And may I say that my first hotel room looked like a mini mansion. I found the bathroom and slipped off my clothes and jumped in the shower. The hot water felt amazing on my skin. I'm glad that Jade asked me to come along with her. Oliver P. OV, this room is amazing. How did Jade's father afford all this? I kind of wish Sasha were in here with me. Even though our rooms are very close, it feels like we're miles apart. Vincent P. Oh. V. God damn. This room is amazing. I'll try not to mess this up. I'm finally have a chance to be in Greece. So that means Greece she-wolves in my bed. Prince P. V. I look out this giant window. The view of this city is incredible. Considering that I'm from South America, this right here is way out of my league. My maid is in the room across from me and she doesn't even know I'm her mate yet. It kills me every day. I hope you all enjoyed this chapter. Jade is finally about to claim her throne as queen of all werewolves. Thanks again for reading. Chapter 9, Jade P. OV, we spent our first night here. It was hard for me to sleep. Something inside of me was keeping me awake. I kept hearing a beautiful female voice that I'd never heard before. It kept telling me to stay awake. I sighed. I'm so tired. You still should have stayed up. I really wanted to talk to you, a voice inside me said. Hi, said confused. You heard me, asshole, the voice replied. Why am I hearing a voice in my head? I asked myself. I'm not a voice. I'm the other half of you, the voice said. My wolf, I asked. Well, then my wolf says. Oh wow, I never heard you before, I said, smiling. You never listened, she said. I'm sorry, I said to her. Whatever. Also, you can stop talking out loud. Before people start thinking you're a weirdo, my wolf says. Okay, I agreed. Prince B. OV. It was kind of weird sleeping in a room that wasn't yours. It was hard to sleep thinking about Jade. I need her to know that we're made for each other. Today she will be claiming her throne, so I have to keep my feelings on the down low. Wolf starts to speak in Portuguese. Bro. Why are you holding back? My wolf asks. I don't know. I just don't want to scare her, I say in my mind to my wolf. Fuck that. Her wolf will know what to do, he tries to convince me. She hasn't connected with her wolf yet, I tell him. Doesn't mean nothing, Raphael, my wolf tells me. Stop calling me by my real name. Ezawili, I tell my wolf with an alpha tone. Bro, that alpha tone won't work with me. We were alpha together. And I don't like the name Prince, my wolf says. Just deal with it, I tell my wolf. Stampy, OV. Today my daughter will become the queen. I hate that I'm giving her such a huge responsibility, but I have no choice. I have to be there and support her. I have to prepare to let her go. I'm glad I woke up extra early and took a shower. I have to make sure the kids are awake. We have to be at Artemis Temple at 12 noon and it's 10:33 now. It'll be a 30-minute drive to there from our hotel, but I have to make sure everyone is ready. I walked out my room and the first room I made it to was Vincent. I knocked and waited for at least a minute for him to answer. Why, good morning, he said with a smirk. Good morning, I said, looking at him up and down. I realized that he's just in his underwear. Get ready. We will be meet up in the lobby at 11, I said to him walking away. I then zigzagged to Prince's room and did the same as I did with Vincent. And did the same with Oliver and Sasha when I make it to Jade room. I knock softly, and she opens automatically. "Hi, Dad," Jade tells me. "Good morning, sweetheart," I say to her. Well, I'm ready to go, she tells me, when I realize that she's dressed already. Everyone else is, and I look at my watch, and it's 10:40. "You want to go for a quick walk around the hotel?" "Sure," she answers me with a smile. Jade P. "Also, Dad, my birthday is coming up and I'd like to have a party," I tell my dad. "What kind of party?" Stan asks. "Well, I don't know yet," I look down. "Well, it's going to be your 18th birthday. Might as well do something huge. Just tell me what you want to do and I'll pay for it," he told me with a smile. I looked at him for a second and just hugged him. And he hugs back. "I love you, Dad." We make it to the lobby. We found everyone but Luke. "Where's Luke?" I ask. "He decided to stay at the hotel and enjoy the city," my dad answers me. We walk out the hotel and find two Lincoln Navigators. My dad nodded at both of the men driving them. My dad leads me to the front one and we both get inside and Prince happens to follow us. My dad sat at the front. It was kind of awkward. "Prince B. Oh, V." I'm trying my very best to keep my cool. She's so beautiful. She smells amazing. Everything about her is perfect to me. She seems a little UNESIED with me being in a SUV with her. I should have just went to the other one. I'll just put in my earbuds and hope for the best. Jade P. Oh, V. I noticed Prince putting in earbuds and looking away from me. For some reason, I wasn't happy with that at all. I just look at him. I look down at his arms and notice how muscular they are and how nice of a body he has all in all. His clothes are not hiding his muscular body, and his smell is just amazing. I want to scoot closer to him, but I can't without looking like a weirdo. I let out a sigh and look out the window. The view of the city is just amazing. Not good enough to take my mind off of Prince. We made it to some type of temple. I was so big and so beautiful. I finally made it to my thorn. I think my dad noticed me looking at the temple with awe. "That's the temple of Artemis," he says. "The Greek goddess?" I ask. "Yes, she's your grandmother and also the moon goddess that the werewolves worship," he replies. Thank you all for joining me in the wild world of Wild Werewolf. I hope you had an amazing time. Don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments and likes, and come back for more wild adventures. See you next time.